Thank you very much, Bob. It's great to be here today. I'm incredibly honored to serve as the chair of the partnership this year and look forward to working with so many of you here in the room today. Before I get started, I want to thank my wife, Margaret, for being here today, along with two of my three children, Channing and Sarah Margaret. They've been listening to me talk for a long time, so they figured what's 15 more minutes. No doubt, the world has changed significantly over the last 2 years. How the world works and how each of us thinks about getting our work done has radically shifted. At the partnership, one thing has not changed. We remain focused on supporting Houston's growth and creating opportunity for all Houstonians. But in this period of rapid change, companies are rethinking how and where they work. This makes it especially critical that we bolster our efforts to attract companies and talent to Houston and that we get economic development right. For decades, Houston's growth was fueled by business leaders who understood economic ambition. Individuals such as Jesse Jones, George R. Brown, Oveta Culp Hobby, along with Bob Olmsted, Ben Love, and Charles Duncan, who we just recognized. Fast forward a bit to almost a decade ago. In July of 2012, Forbes declared Houston America's coolest city. At the time, Houston was leading the nation out of the Great Recession, fueled by the unbridled growth of the shale revolution. But rather than resting on its laurels a decade ago, the partnership was asking the question, if we're going to be a great global city in 2020, in 2030, and beyond, what do we need to do now to transform our region to keep pace? Well, over the last decade or so, we focused on the answers to that question, bolstering the very foundations of what make a great global city. I think about our Upskill Houston program tackling the middle skills talent shortage, or our work alongside Mayor Turner and members of the legislature to reform Houston's broken pension system. Mayor Turner, it's so wonderful to see you today. I had the honor of sitting next to you at lunch. Thank you for joining us. I should mention our efforts to kickstart the regional movement to build our tech and innovation ecosystem through the launch of Houston Exponential and the HX Venture Fund. And then, of course, we have the Houston Energy Transition Initiative that both Bob and Amy spoke about. Other partners have acted on bold visions, like the TMC-3 commercialization effort at the Med Center, and at Ellington Field, the Houston Spaceport. Both of these are on their way to drive innovation for decades in their sectors. We could also talk about the tremendous investment in our green spaces, or the fact that we are now one of the leading cultural and culinary capitals of the world with so many acclaimed institutions. All of this hard work was steered by so many in this room, and you have helped position Houston as an attractive market in which to live and do business. It's paying off. We've picked up 4 new Fortune 500 headquarters since 2017, either through growth or relocation, including, as Amy mentioned, Hewlett-Packard Enterprises and NRG. Houston had the largest net pickup of Fortune 500 headquarters among the major metros. Over the same time frame, Dallas remained flat, and New York lost 16 Fortune 500 headquarters. We've also had a huge number of manufacturing wins, including the 4 million square foot Dichem Texas Technology Park, HVAC and engineering manufacturing facility out in northwest Harris County. It's larger than 50 football fields and employs more than 8,000 people. Those are some of the big wins, the home runs. But we're also hitting important singles and doubles in our traditional target sectors. In fact, Site Selection Magazine, the economic development trade publication, consistently ranks Houston among the top 2 or 3 cities on economic development every year. We typically trade places with Chicago and Dallas. And importantly, though, these wins are creating opportunity. In fact, this is a great statistic. Houston has the higher percentage of middle-class or better jobs than any other major metro in the country. So overall, Houston is doing well, and I would add, we've really upped our economic development efforts the last 2 or 3 years. But the competition is stiff, and it's getting stronger. I could rattle off the list of projects we've lost. Amazon HQ2, the Tesla and Samsung plants, which landed near Austin, or the Honeywell headquarters that went to Charlotte. Or it could be wins that went to DFW Metroplex, the Toyota headquarters, McKesson, the PGA, Charles Schwab. I ask these questions. Are we prepared to meet both the challenges of our changing economy and can we capture the opportunities that these changes are going to bring? The good news is we are doing a lot of things right, but we simply must do better. We must amp up the tactics that are working, change the tactics that aren't, and launch new approaches to accelerate growth. Over the course of this fall, I've been working closely with the partnership team to determine really the areas really we need to press. We've leveraged an excellent base of pro bono research from BCG. I've spoken with many immediate past chairs, other partnership board members, regional and state economic development groups, and even some of our competitors. And I'm pause here for a minute. Adriana Cruz, I'd like to welcome, who is joining us today. And I don't know, Adriana, where you are, but I don't see Adriana. Oh, yeah, there she is. Adriana is Governor Abbott's head of economic development and leads the state's business recruitment efforts. So thank you, Adriana, for being here today, and we certainly look forward to working with you. So we've categorized our key actions into 4 key areas. First, and most importantly, is to execute a true business-led economic development program that leverages the leadership that's in this room. Second is to accelerate the work of our sector-specific plans to grow strong industry clusters. Third, the partnership will accentuate and improve our collaboration and engagement with our regional allies across the entire 12-county footprint. Finally, we will embolden our efforts to elevate the global perception and understanding of today's Houston. So I'm going to start with the first and perhaps the most important in what we need to do, the business-led economic development program. I would like to recognize Jay Brown, President and CEO of Crown Castle, who is chairing our board-level economic development and trade steering committee. He will work alongside 11 committee chairs to drive our economic development work forward. Their names and pictures are on the screen. This year, we're refreshing these committees to function in a very focused manner. The work will be new and energizing, focusing our time and efforts on attracting a specific list of prospects, a curated list of prospects in our target sectors. We've learned a few lessons from other markets. One thing is clear: leveraging local business leaders is key to success for both sourcing new opportunities and closing deals through leader-to-leader outreach and relationships. Bob, Jay, and I are calling on business leaders to take part in this committee work, but we're also going to call upon specific leaders to be more directly engaged in direct outreach on Houston's behalf. Shifting to our next area, a key part of our Houston Next strategy was focused on identifying 6 key industry sectors: Energy 2.0, life sciences, aerospace and aviation, manufacturing and logistics, digital tech, and headquarters. To help drive this work, we have hired subject matter experts onto the staff at the partnership, Energy 2.0, life sciences, and aerospace. Our next step is to develop deep playbooks for how we execute and win in each of these sectors. We must sharpen our approach with clear, sector-based action plans aimed at very specific companies. We must be laser-focused, not scattershot. It sounds simple, but not many cities do this well. The good news is we've already started this process. With the help of a number of partners, we're working with an outside expert firm to build out a detailed and rigorous life sciences playbook and plan to expand this to cover each of the other verticals. We know we have the real estate, the assets, the talent base, and the leadership to win, and these playbooks will help us align and better sell Houston. Another very important priority will be to improve our efforts to better engage and highlight our very talented regional allies and the areas they represent. We must have a vibrant core, a vibrant Houston itself. But broader regional prosperity and growth is also important for our competitiveness. There are more than 35 economic development organizations in the Houston area, and we enjoy a strong relationship with many of them. While we regularly collaborate with these allies, we can do much better to showcase the entire asset base of our region, harnessing what each community brings to the table. For instance, we know that large-scale manufacturers, take Tesla or Samsung, want to locate in the rural periphery of a major metro. Think about Austin, these projects that I just mentioned. Neither is in Austin proper, they're not even in Travis County. Dallas has many similar examples related to Richardson, Plano, Frisco, McKinney. And let me tell you, These suburban communities, particularly in North Texas, are hyper-competitive, including with each other. They aggressively market and have created special programs and incentives to attract companies into their specific communities. Through this intense competition, prospect companies have no doubt that the Metroplex wants them. It's just a matter of which community fits them best. The whole idea is that we're all better off when the city complements the region, and vice versa. We're in the early stages of developing a Houston Economic Development Summit for both our government and economic development organization allies later this spring. It's a first step towards getting everybody on the same page. If we can share resources, tap into experts, and really further leverage the region as an entire area of opportunity. Last but not least, we must elevate the perception of Houston. We know that people's preconceived notions of Houston often lag reality. We've seen it in study after study. We all know it. To know Houston is to love it. But we've got to do a better job of telling Houston's story, and that story is best told face to face. With minimum travel in the last couple of years, it is essential that we intensify our domestic and international missions to top cities around the globe. This face-to-face outreach is critical. So we'll be taking groups of business and civic leaders to both the West and East Coasts, calling on tech, life sciences, Energy 2.0 companies, along with potential headquarter relocations. We'll kick off our international outreach in March to Mexico City and Monterrey, and there'll be missions to Europe and Asia later in the year. Importantly, we're also re-energizing our work with the site selection consultants. These are consultants who help companies navigate location processes and selection. We're going to host a number of them throughout the year for tours of Houston, and we'll connect with them during our missions around the world. Look, with all of this outreach, it is also critical that we get our sales pitch right. How do we shift those inaccurate perceptions of Houston? We've been working with partners at Houston First and the Mayor's Office to employ a unified messaging platform that we will all share. This platform focuses on not just the city, but really captures the ethos of the broader region. And importantly, by working together and employing the same messaging, we can amplify each other's efforts. So we've got a sneak preview for you today. So we'll roll a video.
In Houston, we make tomorrow together. We're powering the low-carbon future, beating cancer and advancing gene therapy, building tech hubs that invent tomorrow, leading humans to the moon, to Mars, and beyond. In Houston, you'll taste the excitement of innovation and the satisfaction of finding solutions that matter. So bring your talent and ambition to Houston. Bring your ideas and inspiration. Build your future. Build our future. Let's make tomorrow together.
This messaging is geared to appeal to those who want to solve the problems that matter and do something bigger than themselves, but do it in partnership with others. We will leverage this messaging across all of our marketing campaigns and also our trade missions and our site selector engagement. So, before I bring Bob back up for our fireside chat, let me close with this. The partnership has been doing good work in this area for years, and many in this room have much to be proud of. But now is the time to really step it up. We can and we will do better. These 4 key action areas will provide a strong platform for success going forward. The mission is clear and we are mobilizing, and I hope you will join us. I'm excited about the year ahead because Houston is positioned to win. With the expertise and hard work of leaders like yourselves, we will be a great global and even more inclusive city for years to come. Thank you very much.